Hello. It appears that you just left TikTok because you are watching this video right now. You don't know how you broke your previous record for screen time. Let's start by entering the app, going to Settings, and searching for the Screen Time option. You are in a really poor region and should immediately take action if the number there reaches 5 hours per day. We can claim that you are on the verge of collapse if the number is 1 or 2 hours. You can still go away. Don't misunderstand me, anything can improve for the person. However, if the settings indicate that the number of hours is composed of 2 digits, your journey will be quite challenging. For instance, the girl I was with used to wake up and spend 2 hours looking around TikTok on her phone. It takes about 2 hours per day to watch a few quick videos that you'll probably forget in the midst of the day. But what I really mean to say is that the young lady in question spent 23 hours per week on TikTok alone. This implies that there are 7 days in a week, right? 1 day was spent scrolling through TikTok. Do you want a life like this? I inquire. You, as a young person, decide to spend countless hours scrolling on TikTok in the hopes of experiencing a dopamine rush rather than engaging in activities that are truly useful for you. I want to ask you a few questions before we start talking about some reasons why you should stop using the application or perhaps erase it from your phone. Are you happy would be the first? Do you believe that each day brings you closer to your previous self? What kind of connections do you have with those around you? When was the last time you gave yourself some thought? When did you last practice meditation? How frequently do you go for a solo walk outside? Now that we've gone over these inquiries, let's look at the reasons why applications like TikTok are halting your personal development. 1. Sleep. Returning to the relationship we discussed above, the girl in question had this habit that I mentioned, which she did at first thing in the morning. But this habit started the night before. Before going to sleep, she scrolled on TikTok, she fell asleep on TikTok, she had programmed his brain to not be able to sleep without receiving that spike of dopamine from that application. So why are we talking about sleep? Because it is very important. Your day will be dictated by the quality of your sleep. If you spend hours scrolling on TikTok before bed, your brain will continue to be trained on what it viewed as you sleep. And trust me, depending on how far you've scrolled, your brain is probably close to burnout. There is too much knowledge to process before bed, although you could not necessarily say the same thing about books. However, there is a difference in education between books and TikTok videos in terms of both quality and quantity. A superior person meditates before bed while reading before falling asleep and thinking about what they can achieve tomorrow and how to use what they have read here to their lives. You probably don't give what you saw there much thought as you spend the majority of the day in front of your phone. Let's try this out. Give a detailed description of 3 to 5 of the TikToks you saw yesterday. In specifics, you probably can't accomplish that. I'm sorry to say that you have been indoctrinated, turned into a robot, and lost all of your personality. 2. Your creativity. Why are we discussing a decline in it in the context of an application that is meant to encourage it? Okay. So you may encounter creative works from all over the globe, but consider your own inventiveness. When was the last time a TikTok gave you a revelation, or when did you feel enlightened because you saw a girl wiggling her ass there? When was the last time you filled the gap you set for yourself after watching a motivational video from a guy who probably gets paid to make those videos and probably doesn't live by the values it espouses? I don't understand why you can't start someone from point zero in their life. Give them some activities that may actually be okay. and expect that person to apply everything and be better in the future. We will discuss this issue in a video that will be released soon, and we will talk to role models on Instagram, TikTok, and other social media platforms. On paper, it appears to be a nice idea, but it is not. Because if you are the kind of person who does nothing to better themselves, you won't do the things that Chad suggested. And he probably won't show you how to actually start because you might have problems with the application or the crowd might shrink. Let me be honest with you for that reason. The road to advancement is realistically difficult, weighty, full of setbacks, and leads off in many directions often. This is the reality of personal development. It's not simple, and you can't just decide to start eating well, getting enough sleep, exercising, and making friends tomorrow. It's not like that. You'll fail the following day. What counts is to keep trying, to get up and remind yourself of your accomplishments, and to adopt a positive outlook rather than picturing a cart that keeps breaking down a week after they started. Your time and, more crucially, your mental health are the final and, arguably, most significant reasons for watching this film. However, let's first discuss the value of time. The most valuable resource on Earth is probably time. How come? Let's go over how getting time from a deal works. There's only one way to exchange time: by exchanging it for an action you take, an activity that yields a result that embodies the value of the time and the designated goal. Now I question you, do you have enough free time to devote it to a task from which you just receive a dopamine boost? Make better use of your time by being more productive. Because you can never be sure when you'll run out of time. In terms of philosophy, we are unable to predict when something is too late or how much time we have left. So bear that in mind the next time you consider using that shady software or website. You get what I mean. Consider how much time is still left. Because it is commonly believed that everything can wait till tomorrow. And it's totally incorrect, because these individuals don't consider the possibility that the moment they lay their heads on the pillow, it could be their last evening on Earth. The last topic we will discuss today is mental health, which I mentioned at the beginning. You probably don't realize how much harm your continued use of social media without a break is doing to you. You probably aren't aware of how often your brain is being misused. In essence, you are supplying your brain with a surplus of irrelevant data that it must evaluate and maybe store in a short period of time. In addition, you just give your brain meaningless images that you believe will inspire or uplift you, but in reality all they do is make you feel sorry for yourself because of the lives that others lead. The only thing you're actually doing is having hallucinations in your isolated room while you're admiring the models on that wealthy man's yacht, and that's sad. Consume informational media and media that actually gets you out of bed and makes you say, "No. I'm going to finish this task today, and I'm going to get started right away." That's all I have to say today. I hope what you saw was helpful and altered your perspective. If so, please click the like and subscribe buttons, as it much aids me. Keep your chin up and never forget that you still have a whole life to live. Be careful.